Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro with you at the NovaCare Complex. The pads on today. Training camp goes to a new level of intensity as the Eagles look to really evaluate the roster with at least 2 days of live contact, tackling to the ground. Doug Peterson and the coaching staff trying to find the best 53 and that long practice squad, 16 players, before the Eagles get onto the field in the regular season at Washington, September 13th. We begin today with some Carson Wentz. A little later on, we'll talk to Jim Cramer, a super Eagles fan, of course, the host of Mad Money. You know him. He's been around for a long time. But Wentz is the focus right now in his 5th season here. Last year, a good year. 16 starts, 27 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, led the Eagles to the NFC East title, and had his first taste of NFL postseason play. It just didn't last very long before Wentz was hit from behind as he went to the ground. Jadeveon Clowney sent Wentz to the sidelines into the locker room, and that ended his postseason experience after only 9 snaps. So there is a sense of unfinished business, yes, for Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I had a chance to talk to Carson on his way into the NovaCare Complex one morning. 7:45 was the call. Carson Wentz in his car with some deep thoughts. Carson, Dave Spadaro.
Morning, Dave. How are we doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
What? Should I be?
Are you driving right now?
Yeah.
What is the Carson Wentz morning routine, I wonder?
It's normally whenever my daughter wakes up, I go get her. But today she's still sleeping when I left, so which was a minor miracle in itself. So
does this represent a turning point for her now? Like she's going to be a long-time sleeper? This could be a pivotal moment in your fatherhood.
Maybe. She's only slept in this long one other time so far, so we will see. I was honestly kind of disappointed because I didn't get to say good morning to her. So other than that, it's feed the dogs, let the dogs out, usually make myself a coffee quick, and head on out. So today, so hopefully I get to see her before she goes to bed tonight.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, so let's talk about that first, Carson. The fatherhood thing and the joys and the challenges of being a father. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun, honestly. First of all, my wife and I are super blessed because this little girl is a little angel. She sleeps so well. She's not very fussy. Don't get me wrong, she's still a baby. She has her moments. But she's been awesome. We've truly enjoyed it. This whole pandemic and quarantine, this whole off season, I know I've talked about it a good amount, but to be able to be around her and see her and my wife every day was a lot of fun. And so now it's been definitely a transition for both of us, being at work, 12, 13 hours a day right now, and mom being at home with her alone all day. But mom's the real champion, the real MVP. I just get to, come home and have fun with her for 20 minutes before she goes to bed and stuff every night. But I've loved every moment of it, and I know it's got its challenges already. I know there's more challenges to come, but it's been a lot of fun and truly a joy.
It certainly has changed your life, not only as a father, but as a husband, because you have to have some sympathy there for your wife and understand that it's very difficult being a stay-at-home mom.
Honestly, seeing her, it's just like something clicked the moment, we had her, and all of a sudden her mom instincts came out. And just seeing her even change in this process over the last, 3.5 months has really been amazing for me to see as her husband. And now we get to raise this girl together, and, there's no one I'd rather do it with. And it's been fun to see her kind of take over that mom role, and the instincts come out. And it's pretty amazing.
Carson, for you, before we get into real football, you become a father. The country, the world goes through this remarkable change. I wonder how it's affected you as somebody looking into the future of the world, and then also just at the same time dealing with George Floyd, the social unrest?
Yeah.
What's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting time. I mean, for everybody in this country, in this world, no one knows what to do during a pandemic. This is a new thing for most people. So that alone was unique and is still unique. And then obviously with George Floyd and all the other different issues going on in this world, from social injustices and everything. That to me was kind of a big wake up call. I think during this pandemic, a lot more people had more time on their hand, including myself, to truly invest my time with educating myself. Not that I have all the answers by any means, but I think some of the statements and the things that I've posted in terms of social injustices and the systemic racism in our country is truly where my heart is right now, because there's things that I was just blind to. I was oblivious to. I grew up in North Dakota. I think I went to high school with a very white class. I think I had a couple, black friends and teammates that you just don't see it. You don't see the racism. You don't see it as an issue. And so until it truly hits you and affects you, whether that's teammates or just you truly see it outside of your kind of bubble that I was living in, my eyes were kind of opened, and I had no more excuses. I had time to educate myself and truly realize there is issues in this country. There's there's a lot of issues going on, and I by no means have the answers and how to fix them, but I just kind of feel like the scales are removed from my eyes, and I see it for what it is, and my heart truly breaks to see the systemic racism. But I'm committed to helping and trying to be a solution. I don't know what that looks like. I've had a lot of conversations with teammates and other friends, and of all races, and so it's something that is an ongoing process of right now, just really trying to learn and educate myself as much as I can, and figure out what that looks like going forward.
In what way has that changed the dynamic of the locker room that you've seen so far with the Eagles? Has it changed the dynamic of the locker room?
We had a pretty strong team meeting in the spring, virtually, where there's a lot of different opinions voiced, and thought it was definitely healthy. I will say the dynamic of the locker room has already changed just because of this pandemic, and so the bonding and the conversations and the relationship building is definitely limited, just because the lockers are way more spread out. We're all wearing masks. The amount of time that we can be around each other, in a close proximity is limited. So it's really hard to get a vibe and a pulse on that. But I do know there's been a lot of healthy conversations. I've had lots of conversations just trying to better understand and see where everybody's at when it comes to the racial inequalities in this country. And so it's been healthy, but I don't think I've seen a real change in the locker room. But like I said, the relationship building is definitely limited, and probably one of my favorite things about football, and it's definitely hindered right now. So I know we're all trying to navigate those waters right now.
And when you say one of your favorite things, you mean just developing a new locker room and the chemistry and everybody?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what has without look, everybody's talked about Malcolm gone, so one of your big leaders is gone, and you lose players like that. What have you noticed in that new locker room?
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of masks.
Yeah.
A lot of guys wearing masks, and just trying to get to know. You come in there, guys wearing masks, keeping their distance. So you're trying to just figure out who these rookies are, who the new guys are. What is this going to look like? We got 80 guys in there. And so it's just trying to get to know everybody. I still get a sense of camaraderie when we're out on the field. We have our first practice against the defense coming up here in the next couple of days. So, I know those things, the camaraderie, the bonding, those things will naturally just pick up as we're practicing and going through it all together. But right now it's just a lot of people trying to just get to know each other as best they can, as quickly as they can. And, it's a weird time. It's hard to really describe it. But we're making the most of it right now.
Carson, your 4 seasons, so many things have happened in your career. Do you think that those times have prepared you for a most unusual year number 5?
Absolutely. I think obviously the injuries and the different perspectives that I've got to see and experience already in my career has definitely prepared me for just odd circumstances like this. And so I wouldn't say anyone's really could ever be prepared for something like this. This is definitely a little different, a little more unique. But it's just the concept of adapting and just keep pushing through. Kind of sounds cliche, but it really is the idea of just adapting to what's new and what's current and making the most of it. And that's what we're trying to do.
Carson, I know you didn't get many snaps in for the playoffs, but I don't recall ever hearing, what was the experience like the week of, the day of, the morning of, the actual time you played? It was, albeit a smaller taste than you wanted for sure, but what was the taste of the postseason like?
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, obviously, that's a pretty obvious statement. I was just very excited for that opportunity. I know we had played Seattle earlier in the year and put it on a pretty poor performance, so I was definitely excited to hopefully put a better one forward that game. And we were on a roll as a team. We had won 4 straight. Guys were clicking, and we had a lot of young guys and a lot of new faces that were finally just figuring each other out and started to mesh at the right time of the year. So I was excited, and I was extremely confident in our ability to get it done. And then obviously, as you know the rest with the head injury and the kind of freakiness of that, and that was definitely a scary moment. And when I hope I never have to experience, I hope nobody has to experience those concussions. But it's part of the game. It's what you sign up for. It's probably the worst part of the game, but that's life. And so I'm definitely chomping at the bit, and I'm going to do everything I can to get back to that moment and hopefully have different circumstances.
Carson, do you have a radar there? Are you an over the speed limit driver or something? What's going on here?
I do have a radar. I'm driving the speed limit. I should probably turn it off. But no, we're doing all right.
Are you a road rager in any way? Does anything upset you when you're behind the wheel of a car?
I wouldn't say road rage. I definitely don't like traffic. I don't think anyone does. When you're in standstill traffic, it definitely tests my patience. So I think my patience is something I can always work on. But I think for me, growing up in North Dakota, the concept of traffic was extremely foreign. So being out here definitely has tested my patience at times.
I'm surprised. I can almost imagine you getting like a screen built into your car so that when you're in traffic, you can watch game film or something. I just see that with you. Carson, finally here, do you have a sense at all about this football team? I mean, I know it's really early. As you said, you haven't even gone against the defense yet, but you've got a lot of the same cast coming back from last year. Do you have a sense of what this offense can be?
I do. I definitely think this offense can be extremely explosive. I feel like we're in a really good place up front. Obviously, losing Brandon Brooks is definitely a big one for us. He's hard to replace. That guy is, in my opinion, the best at what he does. And so when he went down, I was definitely obviously hurting for him. Felt terrible for him. But I know for us as an offense, that's a hard guy to replace. But being able to bring JP back and move him over there, I'm extremely excited to see how he's going to help us in that position, and I think he's going to do an incredible job. I think he's got what it takes to succeed there, and so I think we're extremely solid up front. We've added a lot of skill position players and some young guys that are quick, that are fast, that are explosive, and that will definitely help us. And then these young running backs with Miles and Boston and Corey and just seeing Miles mature over the course of last season and Boston get his chance at the end of last season. And, I think we all have a ton of confidence in them. Those guys have a ton of confidence in themselves to really carry the workload. And I think we're going to be, very explosive, and I'm excited for it.
And you've got 2 veteran wide receivers coming off injury. And if hungry dogs run faster, as Jeff Stoutland and Jason Kelsey say, I mean, they must be like just going crazy getting ready for September 13th. What are you seeing in Alshon and Deshaun?
Absolutely. Alshon and Deshaun, both of them, I can tell they're hungry. I can tell they want to win. There's no denying they're definitely they're veterans and they're coming off of injuries and they're maybe a little older, so they want to win as bad as ever. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in the conversations you have with them. So I know they're going to do everything they can to help this team and put us in a good position. And I'm excited for them to be healthy, to stay healthy, and to do some special things on the field, and to help kind of lead and mentor these young guys. Because I was a rookie once, and it's necessary to have people that you can look up to for advice and to just see how to be a professional.
And then also, Carson, lastly, college football, the scene for you of great joy and success and fantastic maturing times. And now you see what's happened with college football here on the brink. Your thoughts for what those college kids are going through?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. It's really tough. I know it's not just about the kids and the playing itself. It creates a whole another conversation of issues for guys if they're going to have a spring season. Scholarships, guys coming out of high school, funding. There's a whole slew of problems if they don't play. And my only thought is, I think the kids in that age that are playing college ball, they're susceptible to getting that virus, whether they're playing football or whether they're at home or whatever they're doing. And so, in my opinion, there's no right or wrong answer in this moment. But, I hope and wish that those guys could all play. Obviously, we're seeing I don't know how many are left that are still trying to play, but the majority of them, I believe, have called it off. So that's definitely going to be tough for some of those kids, and definitely changes their futures, even going forward with the NFL and everything. So we'll see how that all plays out. But a lot of this conversation's it's been a very unique, strange time for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons, and kids in college, but kids in high school and school age kids, they're no exception. There's a lot of unique things going on and uncharted territories right now for people to navigate.
Yeah. Hey, Carson, thank you so much. I know you're pulling into the NovaCare Complex. Thanks for your time. Have a great day of practice, and look forward to seeing you, man. Well, from a distance, of course.
Absolutely. Sounds good, Dave.
Thanks, Carson. Take care. I know all of you fans are feeling the same thing. You can't wait for the season. You sure hope that at some point you can see the Eagles in person. That's no different for television's Jim Cramer, the Mad Money star, has his thoughts on a training camp ritual that just didn't happen this summer.
Steve, how are you?
I'm hanging in there, Jim. How are you?
Well, I'm the same, Things aren't the same. This is when I'd be working on my best day of the year, which is to come down and see everybody.
Jim, how long have you been coming to training camp? Do you know the exact number of years?
I started in 3 years before Andy lost his son in Lehigh.
Okay, so that was 2008, 2009. So 2006 we're talking. So we're talking 15-year tradition has been hopefully only 1 year put on hold. What is it like for you, Jim, not having the opportunity to be here? It's a tradition that the Eagles, we love having you, hosting you, seeing you, your energy. But it's part of what we do, right? And it's just not happening.
The best fan organization. I mean, I used to go with my dad, and there was a time when you saw me, and my dad was like, "Oh my God, Dave is letting you in. Go, go, go!" And my dad, it was always so hot. And my dad was in his late 80s back then, but we wouldn't miss it. We just wouldn't miss it because it was pure joy and always has been, because the organization is so welcoming to real fans.
Jim, it's something that obviously you never took it for granted, but we are reminded in these moments that let's not take anything for granted. What has these whole 5 months been like for you?
Well, I'm 65, So, and I also run a pretty tight ship for my show. So I go to work from Summit, New Jersey, and I go home, and I see no one but my wife and my kids. And I don't see my friends. I don't go anywhere because I am, and I'm going to use the word that you're not supposed to use, afraid. My driver of 32 years came down very badly with COVID because he wore 2 masks and I wore an N95. I'm fine. He was in the ICU for 3 weeks and has been in bed now for 4 weeks. He can't move without oxygen. So I feel very lucky. But look, we underestimate this disease. And people think I'm paranoid. But when my daughter came back from Spain, she teaches English in Madrid. I wanted to see her very badly. But I made her go quarantine.
Well, that's the way you should do it. I think everybody should take COVID-19 very seriously. Football standpoint, do you feel disconnected from the Eagles now? Are you?
Yes,
yeah.
I do. I really do. My only lifeline is you. I'm not kidding. I mean, and the regular press hasn't been covering it right. The ESPN press hasn't covered it at all. And I get, you were always number one because I have you on my, at one point you were my homepage.
Thank you.
When we went for the Lombardi, but I do feel that you're my lifeline, and when you walk down the steps, you walk the steps from the parking lot to the NovaCare Center, and then you walk through it. And you see Jason Peters, and he says, "Hi, God bless you." Or when you see Zach Ertz, and he wants to know whether you want a picture with him. You see Merrill Reese, and you give him a big hug, and you go up to various players that you can't believe that you're next to, and it's your memories for the rest of your life. So it is very, very hard for me.
Jim, I wonder, we don't know about fans yet. We don't know. So one way or the other, but things are going to be different for sure. Have you planned out what you're going to do for the season? And also as a television viewer, what will the experience like? What do you anticipate the experience being like?
Well, I guess it's pure man cave. My Eagles man cave, which I think I'll challenge anyone to my man cave. And I've got signed jerseys everywhere. I've got pictures with coaches, and I have a football signed by Andy Reid and a hat, and I'll wear all my stuff as if I were going to the game. But I won't let anyone near me because it's very hard for me to watch a game unless I'm surrounded by people who care about it in the way I do and care about every drop ball and every injury. If I don't have someone like that, and then it's very hard to find because of the darn quarantine and darn what you need to do in terms of social distancing, I'm going to do it by myself. And I'll scream by myself and I'll cry by myself. I don't know what else to say, Dave. I'm not going to be there for a game. I'm not going to be there. And I talk a lot about it with my friends who all know that it's other than time with my family, with my kids who are now far flung all over the place, it is the most important thing for me. I make no bones about that. It is not something my wife wishes it was so important because she knows it controls me and I can't affect the outcome. I love the coaches so much. The staff is so great to me. Howie's unbelievable. You got Jim Schwartz, who's great. The head coach, Coach Peterson is so fantastic. I wish him the best of luck. Jake is so great. I mean, it's just, people don't understand this organization is about the fans, and it's not for show. They want to win for us, and they are really disappointed if they don't deliver. And I feel that in my bones. And I really feel it when we get the flyover, which has always reduced me to tears. The Star Spangled Banner, who's ever the player that comes back that we get to cheer for. I mean, these are all integral to me, and they are. There's 8 and hopefully more games that are so important that I can't believe that I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, I think we're all grappling with that. I think I'm gonna make a pitch to you here. I have a post-game podcast. If I call you up after every game for the Jim Cramer take, will you give it to me?
Of course.
Okay. Are
you kidding me? But remember, in a loss, I'm not that. I know. I get very choked up. I never blast the team because this is my team. Okay, but I am heartbroken, and I'm particularly heartbroken if anybody gets hurt. And I remember going when I went to when we played the Jaguars at Wembley, and we won that game. And I said, if anybody gets hurt and I have to fly back and we lose, it's going to be the longest plane ride. It might be 20. It's like a 29-hour plane ride. But we won, and I just. I worry all the time about Deshaun, whether Deshaun's going to get hurt. Alshon plays hurt every year. Thank heavens we got a good wide receiver core. I'm going to be looking for Malik. I think that Derek's going to have a huge year. I mean, oh my God, Darius Slay. Can you imagine? I cannot believe I can't see Darius Slay be better than Asante Samuels. I mean, honest to God. Asante Samuel was fantastic. I think Darius is even better. And I am not going to be able to cheer when he picks one off.
You'll cheer. You'll just do it in your man cave.
No one will hear me. I like to be the loudest person in the stadium. I always make everybody get up and cheer. And boy, on third down, I always tell people, if you're not standing up, forget it. Now, I did have a contretemps. If you go to the box and you're not wearing Eagles wear or green, you can wear the muted colors of another team. But someone very close to me, I told him, I said, please wear an Eagles jersey. He did it, and he pulled it off right before the Redskins got the ball in the kickoff, and I told him to leave the box. Now, it did cause a lot of tears. I didn't give a damn. The guy doesn't belong in the box.
Jim,
there's rules.
Hey,
there's rules.
There's the Jim Cramer rules, no doubt. We're a month away from the season. Give me a sense of expectations you have. Do you even know?
Well, I just have you. I mean, I have you for. I love it when you write about the wide receivers. I think you write about Miles Sanders. You had some really good pieces about who has to step up. You know, there's guys who have to step up, and I really love that. You know who's got to step up? There's two guys. JJ has to step up. I mean, he really has to step up, and Sidney has to step up. And I'm not wedded to those two guys. I'm just not. I thought your piece today about the linebackers and how they've never been accentuated by Jim Schwartz is true. I think that Jim Schwartz is so underrated, it's scary. I mean, think about what he's cobbled together. Do you remember the injuries? I mean, there were games where I thought he was going to put me in. I mean, that guy was finding guys off the street, off the couch, and they were killing for him.
Yeah.
And he's the smartest. He is the smartest. I mean, the guy... He is just so. I mean, only Frank Wright, who was just a pure genius, is in that league. And I look back. You did that piece yesterday about the secondary, and like the M's, the Rodney McLeod, the Jalen Mills. I mean, think of these M's. I mean, they're unbelievable, right?
Jim, the thing that's crazy as I stand here and talk to you today, they haven't been in pads, so I really can't tell. Here's what I believe. I believe that veteran team. Great quarterback. Jason Peters has to ball out at right guard. Andre Dillard has to ball out at left tackle. Offense should be good. D-line is fantastic. I think the secondary will be very good. Linebackers, not a lot of big names there. Right. But I feel like this team, the coaching staff comes back intact. Let's start the season fast at Washington and go from there. Stay healthy.
How about the speed of these new wide receivers? You seem very encouraged.
Yeah, I'm encouraged about Jalen Reagor. The other two guys, I think they're projects. It's going to be a bit of a time, but I think Deshaun will come back healthy.
Greg Ward is going to shine this year. Come out of the slot.
I think Greg Ward's a solid little run short route, short area guy. Yeah. He'll get better and better.
I like him. I like Boston Scott, too.
Love him.
Because you're absolutely right. When you say that, you said, listen, he's not Sproles yet. You made that point. But he has a Sproles kind of role model. I love the fact that you brought some coaches who used to play for the Eagles. How great are they, too? Unbelievable ambassadors. Brent Selleck, an unbelievable ambassador, an approachable guy who truly loves fans more than anyone else I've ever met.
Yeah. And
You know how
Sproles
many
is around.
87 signed jerseys I have? I have 4 of them, including that. Get this, Dave. I have a game-worn jersey. And for the first 2 years, I didn't wash it. But then my wife said, "Hey, Jim, come on. I mean, you can't keep wearing it and not wash it. I mean, you can't." I'm a little worried about the offensive line because of the moves. I think that has to gel more. And I think we all realize that, but that's a work in progress. But when I heard what you said you wrote something the other day about Carson Wentz and how he didn't have to rehab this year, he actually pumped. I mean, I remember when I saw Carson Wentz last year in the dining room, and I said, "Geez, he's a little skinny." I guess he's not, huh?
No, he's ripped. He's ripped, no doubt. I
hope he doesn't take too many chances. But I mean, you had some things. You had some stats that shows he's got to do some other. Look, he has more help at wide receiver. But the guy on third down in the old days in 2017. Never third down. He was unbelievable on third down. He was the best third down I've ever seen.
I'm with you.
I'm so fired up.
It's good. We're only a month away. You're gonna have all that passion. You got to save that passion for the regular season. We're gonna get there soon.
But my heart is broken. I had a lot of things I was going to say before I broke the huddle. I mean, I always like to come with a speech. I had the take no prisoner speech. And I always like to pour my heart into it. I talked about that Westbrook game before when the Phillies won the Game 5. Who cares of the World Series? Because Westbrook had an unbelievable game, and Westbrook is my friend because he lives down the block from me. And the team is everything to me. Gave us everything.
Well, we're still here, and we're going to welcome you back next year with open arms. And in the meantime, let's stay in touch during the season. I'm serious.
You keep up your great writing, okay? You have to understand you're our lifeline, okay?
Yes, thank you. And I'm serious about the post-game Jim Cramer reaction. We'll talk.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
We'll talk more about that.
I love it. I mean, it's kind of like when Vaughn used to do it. Remember Vaughn?
Yeah.
Vaughn's such a great guy. People forget he has 2 rings, for the Broncos. But yeah, I'll do anything for you.
You're the man.
You have always been the voice of reason, and listen, people should know you're not afraid to criticize. If you think that things should be changed, you do it. And I also got your white hat. I got one, and I wear it all the time. And my wife thinks it looks goofy, and I say, Dave wears it, I can wear it.
Jim Cramer, thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
You're the best. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that will do it for this Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I want to thank Ray Doyle and Peter Kelly for their great work. Thanks to all of you for joining each and every episode. I'll be back on Wednesday with more. If you can drop us a rating, those 5 stars go a long way inside the organization and out there as more and more Eagles fans find out about the podcast. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining me here on the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Have yourselves a great Eagles day and fly, Eagles, fly.
E-A-T-L-E